What is up, everyone? This is the final episode of Call 1 of the Arc 5 part of Season 3. So, let's go. So, what can I say? Okay, the episode was a masterpiece. You know, it was another 100 out of 10. And, you know, we're just going to jump straight into it. The final episode of the core. So the episode starts off right with everyone in the meeting room, and you have Otto explaining that he actually has the Book of Wisdom, and everyone's so shocked because they didn't expect him to have the Book of Wisdom because it was burned in a sanctuary back in season 2. Because remember, Ram threw it in the fire in front of Roswell, and Roswell was crying his eyes out like a little bitch. So yeah. And then, Priscilla and Al... Not Priscilla and Al, but Priscilla and Liliana enter the room. And Al's so happy to see you. So he wanders over to Priscilla. And then Priscilla basically just attacks him in the ribs and throws him across the room, which was pretty funny. And then Al does a funny ass run back to Priscilla. That part was really, really funny. So Subaru wants, a word with Otto because he's... thinking why the fuck do you have the tome of wisdom? And Otto explains he doesn't trust Roswell still, even after all this time, and he thinks Roswell may be up to something. But Subaru explains that they need Roswell on their side, and Otto understands this, so that's why he's trying to repair the Book of Wisdom, you see, because he wants to be one step ahead of Roswell in case Roswell tries anything. But yeah, anyways, Wilhelm comes and asks Subaru to go and see Crush, because Crush is in a really bad shape and she's asking after Subaru. So Subaru goes in and sees, Crush, and she's got Felix with her, and Felix is bawling his eyes out because, he loves Crush. His whole life pretty much revolves around Crush. And, he goes in there. Well, maybe not all about Crush, but a large part of his life is Crush. So... Subaru goes in there. Crush is in a really, really bad state. She's all bandaged up. Her skin is all dark and veiny because of the dragon blood that Capella poured on her, and it affected Crush way more than it did Subaru. To the point where she's crippled and everything. But the thing is, when Subaru touches Crush, the dragon blood actually gets transferred into him. Even though it causes him tremendous pain, he still wants to transfer the dragon blood just so Crush doesn't suffer as much. But Crush tells him not to because she doesn't want to see Subaru suffer anymore, and they need Subaru on the battlefield, and they don't really know the full effects of the dragon blood, so it's not a risk that they're willing to fucking take. So yeah. So, Subaru, goes back downstairs and he sees Wilhelm. Now, Wilhelm tells Subaru that he found out, both of the robed witch cultists, the big fat one and the thin witch cultist who were attacking Garfield and Ricardo and Julius, etc. So, one of them is this 8 arms looking dude called Kurgan, who is one of the strongest warriors in Wallachia, and the other one is someone much more personal to Wilhelm, his wife, yes, Teresia. And you might be thinking, how is Teresia alive? Well, it turns out she's actually a corpse soldier revived by the witch cult, and same with Kurgan. And yeah, so basically Wilhelm explains to Subaru that the Sword Saint, divine protection is passed down between generations. So when Teresia was fighting the White Whale, the transfer happened at the worst possible time. So she lost basically all of her powers during the fight with the White Whale. It went down straight to Reinhard. And yeah, she ended up losing her life because of it. And Wilhelm, because he was fucking angry and out of grief, he blamed Reinhard for his wife's death, which is, he was grieving, but that's a little too much. Reinhard was 5 years old, come on. Wilhelm regrets it, and he wants to make amends, so that's pretty sweet. So they're in like the meeting room again, and everyone's trying to figure out who's going to take on each of the cultists. So, Priscilla says that Liliana, because what happened in one of the earlier episodes when Liliana was singing and she was calming everyone down in the shelter who were under fucking Raph's authority. Well, Priscilla thinks that she can do the same, and that's probably how they're going to defeat Raph. So Priscilla and Liliana are going to be together, even though Priscilla insulted her, which was funny. And they were thinking, Garfield wants to help Subaru because he loves his captain. He wants to help Subaru, but Subaru tells him that he's got scores to settle with the 2 robed cultists who attacked Mimi. So Garfield is going to go with Lust. He's going to go for Lust along with Wilhelm. And Julius and Ricardo are going to go after Gluttony. So that's basically how they're sorting it out. And then, right, they're going to, for Greed is going to be Subaru and Reinhard. Yes, we're going to have the Subaru and Reinhard team up, everyone. Oh my god, like, this is insane. And we also find out that Reinhard can, he can get blessings. He can acquire, like, blessings, and he uses that on Liliana to find out, like, what blessing she has, which is, like, really cool. So we found that out about Reinhard. So, yeah, everyone's determined. Everyone knows what they're doing. Anastasia and Felix are going to be in the city hall. So that's all good as fuck. And now we get to, like, the peak part of the episode. Like, oh my god. So we have Amelia and Regulus getting married. We have Sylphie, who's like, I don't know, she's like playing the role of the priest. We have all the wives sat in the little, in the seats. And Amelia is like asking Regulus a bunch of questions, like, why did you like save like number 79? And then Regulus is like, oh well, he had the 79th spot reserved for a certain someone. And if you remember, back in season 2, he went to the Elior Forest, didn't he, with Pandora. And guess who the 79th wife was saved for? It was actually saved for Fortuna. So that's crazy how, like, Fortuna's, like, daughter figure would end up being number 79. Like, that's like, really, like, just weird, and it's just, like, crazy. But, Amelia's asking Regulus a bunch of other questions, like, why do you call like, all your wives by, like, numbers instead of names? And Regulus just sprouts, like, a bunch of bullshit, like how it's shallow, and, like, Regulus, he can't really follow his ideals because it's really just a bunch of nonsense at the end of the day. And he says, like, oh, Amelia, when you're married to me, you're not allowed to smile. And you can see Amelia's, like, really disgusted by this. Like, at this point, she hates Regulus. And, like, she's like, I'm not marrying you in like a million years. And you can see Regulus get more and more angry as Amelia keeps interrogating him, which was so funny because, like, Regulus is so expressive and he looks so evil. Like, in the novels, like, Regulus looked a lot more like a normal dude. I think they were going for the approach, like, psychos, like, kind of blend in with normal people. Whereas in this anime version, he's, like, just so over-the-top evil. Like, he's pulling, like, all these crazy, like, psychotic faces and shit, and he's just, like, so obviously evil. But, yeah, I do love the expressions, though. I think they did them really well. And yeah, Regulus just gets more and more angry, and he just threatens to, like, rip everyone's heads off. And then Amelia explains, that Subaru loves her. She's so happy when Subaru tells her that he loves her. And just, it's so sweet. Like, this is Amelia standing up for herself and saying, how she really feels about Subaru. Like, she doesn't completely understand, like, love towards Subaru, but I think she knows deep down that Subaru is the one who she wants to be with at the end of the day. So, just as Regulus, like, screams, like, I don't want to marry you anyway, I hate you, you stupid bitch, like, kind of spiel, Subaru and Reinhard kick the wedding door down, and oh my god, like, the chapel's door, goes straight for Regulus's face. Like, it flies across the room. And even Subaru's shocked, like, wow, what are your legs made of, Reinhard? And the door crashes into Regulus. Amelia is so happy to see both Subaru and Reinhard there, and she has the cutest face I've ever seen. Like, oh my god. You know, it is so peak. And yeah, Regulus gets up and he's like, oh, I don't remember inviting you two here. And yeah, that's pretty much where the episode ends. They introduce themselves as Subaru, the Knight Without the Spirit, and Reinhard, who is the Sword Saint. And yeah, that is how the episode ends. So, this episode was fucking peak. Just like always. Oh, it's going to be so painful waiting until February, but, it's going to be so worth it, guys. Like, I can see it. It's going to be so worth it. We've got so many battles that are about to take place. They left it off on a great, cliffhanger, real. I had a feeling, right, even from the beginning, that this is where they were going to leave the cliffhanger for the core. It just makes, so much sense. And some general things, the lighting was beautiful as always, voice acting was incredible. The music choices were really good. They had some funny moments, with Al getting abused by Priscilla. And, some funny and cute Liliana moments as well. Yeah, all the characters just look amazing. I feel really sorry for Cruz and Felix. God damn, I feel so bad for them. But yeah, it's going to be so crazy. We're going to have to wait until February. But as I said, it's going to be way worth it because ReZero is a masterpiece. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my next videos until that point, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, I'm going to see you guys later, and I love you all. Peace out.